Our first topic, our Shedeur topic, brought to you by a Home Builders Association. Give big this year with the Home for the Holidays raffle. You get a chance to win a beautiful new custom home or a cash prize this holiday season and help make wishes come true for Make-A-Wish kids with critical illnesses. Raffle proceeds benefit Make-A-Wish OKI, which has granted over 22,000 wishes to children facing critical illnesses all across Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana since 1983. This year's house is a custom-built ranch by Petros Homes with 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, and a 3-car garage. It also includes amazing features like a great room with vaulted ceilings, an unbelievable kitchen, and a mudroom with open lockers and a unique pet shower station. One lucky winner will be announced on December 24th, so get your $100 tickets now. Just visit homefortheholidays.org to buy your tickets. That's a homefortheholidays.org. Terms and conditions apply. Guys, we saw the best quarterback play we have seen in a long time from a Browns quarterback. Shedeur throwing for 364 yards, 4 total touchdowns, just 1 interception in the loss of the Titans. G. Bush, I want to start with you on this one. What impressed you the most about what Shedeur Sanders did yesterday against the Tennessee Titans?
I think I'm Big Meech, Larry Hoover, whipping work, hallelujah, one nation, under God, real getting money from the start. That's how you come out. That's what I'm talking about. You already know my slogan. Zip them up. Let's go. I got the spirit of Coach Prime on right now. I seen he pulled up like Frank Lucas to the facility. He had the mink on. He came in a double R Rolls Royce, got escorted in, and he had 75 chains on. I said, I see you, Coach Prime. Let me put 96 chains on. You know why? Because you look good, you feel good, you play good. And I told you, but the thing that's most impressive is not about what you do and wear off the field. It's about what you do on that football field. And we talked about it. Yeah, Shedeur Sanders was the first dude to win his first game as a rookie. And they said, oh, it's legendary. It's against the Raiders. It's just legendary a little bit. You playing around. But then guess what he did? He came out there yesterday and he showed you this is the difference between the first pick and the 5th pick. Now, if we're going to use the 5th pick against my bro, we used it all summer. I need y'all to put the context on the 5th pick in general. So what I did is I went the J route. I went and asked AI. I said, AI, talk to your boy G. Bush. Has there ever been a quarterback drafted after the 4th round in his rookie year to ever throw for 300 yards and 2 touchdowns? She came back to me like Hal or Skynet. G. Bush, we do not compute. Shedeur Sanders is the only person ever in the world and universe to do that. So I call that legendary. We can get to the rest of the stats, but the thing is, not only did he do that, but he showed you layer by layer, throw by throw, multiple big time throws. One in the corner to David Njoku. Perfect ball, placed perfectly. He threw another one in Harold Fannin Jr., perfectly placed in the corner of the end zone for another touchdown. He showed you that he could get back to his second, third step and throw the ball over the middle. By the way, beautiful throw down the sideline to Harold Fannin Jr. Oh, by the way, there was a Jerry Jeudy sighting. He got him involved. And not only did he do that, he led the Cleveland Browns in rushing too. I mean, the guy got beat up. He got hit time after time. He got up. He continued to fight. He had a bad interception. And the most impressive thing about Shedeur Sanders had a bad interception. He was trying to make a play. He put the ball up and it hurt. But guess what he did after that? He came back, locked back in, moved down the field, got the team in position. And if it wasn't for a certain somebody we're going to talk about, we might have been going into overtime, but we're not going to get into that. Shedeur Sanders was legendary. No quarterback had did what he did. By the way, since the Super Bowl era, I know you know this one, Bull, because Joe Burrow's on this list. There's only been one rookie to ever throw for 350 yards and 2+ touchdowns and another rushing touchdown since the Super Bowl era. One of them is Joe Burrow and the other is Shedeur Sanders. I ask you, Cam Ward is a first-round pick, first overall. I just saw him be outplayed by Shedeur Sanders. Case closed.
Did we win?
Thanks to Kevin Stefanski.
We'll get to Stefanski next.
The dangers in what we're doing here is the overreactions both ways.
No, it's not.
There will be people, and I saw it, killing Shedeur Sanders. And then there are people basically making arguments that he's one of one. He's done stuff no one's ever done. We lost the freaking game to a one-loss team or one-win team at home, G.
Was that his fault?
It was the quarterback. You win and lose with the quarterback. And here's the thing. He played great yesterday. But what we can't do is elevate him to this status that he is the king and the Messiah and he is one of one.
No.
Because it's a false narrative and just creating false hope. It's a one-win team that beat us at home.
See, here's the thing.
You left out the lead.
No, I left out the lead is we talked about his game against the Rams for a whole entire 6 months.
That's all we had.
Guess
preseason.
What? We talked about a preseason game that didn't matter and him running backwards. We heard articles, we heard shows, we did routine. We talked about a game where he got sacked multiple times. Now, if you're going to use that same energy, use the same energy all the way around. If we was going to talk 6 months about him getting sacked, I'm sure that we could talk a couple of hours about the performance that he put up.
We should. But here's what I'm saying, G. I'm saying that his supporters, and I love them for their steadfast consistency and their support. I love that. That's what supporters do. But you have to be careful in sports of the crazy overreactions one way or another. Here's what he did yesterday.
Bold.
He took major steps towards becoming a starting quarterback in the NFL. Major steps. He proved a lot of his doubters wrong by making plays that NFL quarterbacks have to make. They have to make those plays. He made them. Did he make some mistakes? Yes, he's a rookie. He's young. He's supposed to. But to say that, and statistically you're right. You know what stats are. You can peel that onion a million ways. You can find things that, here's another stat. Out of 48 quarterbacks, he's 47th in completion percentage. So again, that would be an overreaction to him being a horrible quarterback. That's not fitting of the quarterback he is. But it's a stat. It doesn't lie. You can't argue with it.
Nobody in Brown's history did what he did.
Gee, you're absolutely right. In fact, you're right to say that, the 300 yards and all of that, you're right. Those are stats that he achieved. You cannot take them away from him. But my fear is, I had a deep conversation yesterday via text with another one of his ardent supporters, and he sees this becoming an issue as well. And here's what it is. The supporters are being so over the top that they're setting this kid up for failure.
It's not
Kevin Stefanski. When you hold him up as he's doing stuff that's never been done in the league.
That's what the statistics say.
He better do it against the Bills.
But here's the thing.
He better do it against the Steelers. He better do it against the Bengals.
If this was Dylan Gabriel, you would be sitting up on this table talking about how great he was. They gave Dylan Gabriel Skynet.
We would also be saying he did it against a one-win team at home.
But by the way, no other team that played the Titans. Who threw for 300 against the Titans?
I don't know. I don't watch them.
None. Zero. You don't have to look.
I don't even care.
Matt Stafford,
no.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Here's what I know. They're a one-win team. So
I get it.
I give you and Shedeur his flowers on this Monday.
Hold on. No. See, this is where we're getting at. It's not about the supporters, guys. See, it kind of is. No, it's not. The pushback that we get is people versus the supporters. Judge the man's game. I don't care about that. I'm talking about the game. Forget who supports who.
And I am.
When we critique the game, but everybody gets in their feelings because his supporters are supporters. At the end of the day, we are supposed to sit here and talk about what Shedeur Sanders did, right? And what I'm telling you is, I don't care what the supporters say. I'm talking about the game that he was put on when we were told week after week after week he wasn't ready. This is by the way, this is third game starting.
No, it's just a second?
It's the second game.
Jason, what do you got here? Third game starting. It was his third.
Was it his third?
Yeah.
So his fourth game played?
Raiders,
oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And Titans.
Yeah.
I thought he was very good in the first half. I thought he was shaky third quarter, shaky start of the fourth quarter, and what he did in the second half of the fourth quarter solidified he has to have the rest of the season.
100%.
And if he plays like he did yesterday, the next three games, the thing that I think is most fascinating is over the last 48 hours, how the conversation around here has swung wildly. Watching Fernando Mendoza Saturday night.
Yeah.
And everyone's saying, you got to go get him, you got to go get him, you got to go get him. And then what Shedeur did over the last, 7-8 minutes of the fourth quarter, because that's really what we're talking about.
Yeah, because even at about the halfway point of the fourth quarter.
I told you, they left. Everybody left.
Well, I mean, if you're watching the game, you're looking at it going, wow. I mean, he did play good first half, but that third quarter and into the fourth quarter was miserable football.
And at that point, when everyone's leaving, my thought is it was kind of like the Niners game. It's okay. And then what he did on those last two drives is what has everyone like, okay, maybe there's something here.
Yes, absolutely.
I love that the next three games now are against pretty good teams.
Yes.
So it's Chicago, Pittsburgh, and Buffalo. So if he plays remotely as well in the next 3 as he did yesterday, it sets up a fascinating conversation for next season.
I think he comes back in the driver's seat for next season.
Well,
if
my options are Shedeur Sanders or Deshaun Watson,
well, and they are,
I will throw myself on the field to make sure that Shedeur is protected.
Yeah,
I will.
those might be the options.
We never have to see Deshaun take.
Those might be the options,
again.
and to that point, Jay, that's why I'm excited about what lies ahead.
I will rig the election for Shedeur.
Yeah, and you know what? I do believe that if your scenario is true, that let's say they don't draft a quarterback, and if he plays like he did yesterday for the last 3 games, you're not drafting a quarterback.
He doesn't have to throw for 350.
No, but what he has to do is look like an NFL quarterback. He looked like more than an NFL quarterback in that fourth quarter. He looked like a quarterback who can rally a team. Now, you got to look at who he's doing it against. You got to look at all of the things.
It all plays into it.
It all plays into it. That's why I love that. I mean, Chicago's a good defense. I like Chicago's defense a lot. Buffalo and Cincinnati's defense, I mean, what they give up yesterday combined, over 70 points.
They're good teams, though.
They're good teams. They're good offenses. Their defenses are not great. So I think what it does is it's a perfect scenario for Shedeur Sanders. Yes, if you look at the teams, okay, they're all pretty good teams, even though Cincinnati is what they are right now record-wise. They're a good team. I think they proved that yesterday. It's a perfect scenario for him because each game could end up being just like yesterday's. Offensive shootouts where you score a lot of points. He can't be judged for what the defense yesterday was absolutely atrocious.
Nasty work.
The defense was trying to get sacks, and Tennessee said, yeah, we're going to run the ball. And we did not adjust. And I was really surprised and even disappointed that we did not adjust. We'll get to that. Yeah. But I agree with you. If it comes down to Shedeur and Deshaun Watson for next season, oh my God.
Yeah.
That's easy.
That's not a
That's
discussion.
easy.
So I got a lot to say. I've stayed quiet here for 15 minutes. I got a lot to say. You could factor in all these things. I think most of what all of you have said is fair. Factor in all these things. Obviously, you factor in that the Titans aren't very good. Obviously, you factor in that the weather was bad. Here's something else I want to factor in. I didn't think Shedeur Sanders was going to do much in this game. I had the Browns scoring 16 points.
I had 3-0.
You had 3-0.
I mean, you did. Okay. Cheek, but yes,
so
I thought it'd be a little small.
You know what else I got to factor in? The fact that Shedeur Sanders made the pass catchers on this roster, who have mostly been crap, look good yesterday. The Browns looked like they had legitimate pass catchers. Even Cedric Tillman goes up and makes a catch. The Browns looked like a competent NFL offense. Has Shedeur Sanders proven without a doubt that he's the franchise quarterback? Of course not. He hasn't played enough. No quarterback, nobody, none. Joe Burrow, nobody, in 3.5 games can prove without a doubt that you're the franchise quarterback.
Well, in week 2 this year, Minnesota thought J.J. McCarthy was their guy.
Too soon, right?
Yeah.
But what he did do yesterday was give hope to fans that have not had any hope since Baker Mayfield. Yes. Jacoby Brissett didn't give you hope because he's a journeyman. Joe Flacco didn't give you hope because he's old. Jameis Winston didn't give you hope because you've seen him for a decade. Dylan Gabriel didn't give you hope because he showed no franchise quarterback traits at all. On and on and on the list goes to Baker Mayfield. In fact, I would argue he's the only quarterback besides Baker that has given you hope in 15 years, maybe.
That's fair.
Okay?
With the exception of the brief run by Flacco in 23.
No, but he didn't give you hope because he was old.
39.
But he put us in the playoffs.
But it doesn't
we were
matter.
excited about that.
That doesn't
we
matter.
knew he wasn't the long-term answer.
All
if
I'm
that's
saying
what
is
you're
hope for the future.
Yes.
Long-term.
No, he did
that's
not.
what I'm saying.
He did not.
Okay? Now, obviously, I want to see more. But what I saw from Shedeur Sanders yesterday was very impressive. Yes, the third quarter, the pick was bad. And first of all, he didn't even have the ball that much in the third and early fourth quarter. I could go through every game of every good quarterback in the history of football, with very few exceptions, and I could find a stretch during that game where that quarterback didn't play well.
Sure.
Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, whoever.
Hell, look at Mahomes right now.
Exactly. So, but the point is, for the game, I don't need to break it down. For the game, Shedeur Sanders was excellent. Yeah, okay, well, maybe I won't give him an A+ because he threw the pick, and the completion percentage wasn't great. But some of the reason why the completion percentage wasn't good is because he was overall making very smart decisions when to throw away the ball.
Instead of taking sacks.
If you consider the fact, I don't care that the Titans stink. The Browns stink too. If you consider the fact that his teammates stink, for the most part on offense, that his teammates on defense who were supposed to be great were terrible yesterday, we could say, yeah, they did lose. But if the defense played as well as they had the rest of the year, the Browns would have won this game going away. Now, it might have been, obviously, it would have played out differently at the end because he didn't need to come back. But come on, how many games have the Browns, even against bad teams, been down 14 points late in the game and you thought they had a chance? None. In my years of covering the Browns, this is my 16th season covering the Browns, there's only Baker Mayfield, as much as I got down on him at the end, was the only quarterback that I was like, I think he could come back here. Last night, I thought they had a chance.
I didn't.
And they did.
I didn't.
I thought
Even
they had a
after
chance.
When that punt was blocked, whenever everyone stuck.
Okay, yeah, well, that was that.
Well,
but after that
point.
first touchdown throw,
Yeah.
I thought, that's why in the real-time chat we're going to get into this about the decision to go for 1 or 2.
Yeah.
I did not like the decision to go for 2, not because it didn't work. I think in that situation, if you score a touchdown and you score again and you're kicking an extra point, you've got all the momentum going to overtime. Let it ride.
I hear you. We'll get into
But
that.
after that first touchdown, I thought, our defense is going to stop them. We are going to get the ball back, and we are going to score a touchdown.
And there's some things you can't measure in stats. Stats can tell the truth. Stats can lie, right?
All the time.
I think the only stat I like G. Bush's stats. Only one I think is a little unfair is the other quarterbacks with 300 because a lot of those games were blowouts and so the teams weren't throwing the ball. But I don't say that to take away anything from Shedeur, but that's why some of the other quarterbacks didn't throw for 300. But the rest of the stats are eye-popping.
And they matter.
And they matter. And,
They do.
And it's not easy. You could say, well, every quarterback has a good game once in a while. Not really. Dylan Gabriel didn't have a good game.
Not like that.
You could say every quarterback throws 4 touchdowns once in a while. Not really. There's plenty of
how many
quarterbacks that don't do it.
this year have thrown for that many?
Not that many.
He's the only rookie quarterback to throw for
I'm not
over
even
3.
talking rookie.
I know.
How many
Anybody.
quarterbacks?
He's
I
the
mean,
only-
you don't get 300 anymore.
And the
Right.
Titans' defense, as bad as the Titans are, their defense is not historically bad. Their defense is not good. Their offense is historic.
No.
Their offense is a joke, and that's why it was.
Now, let me
shame
tell
on
you
the
this.
defense.
No,
To answer that question,
Jeffrey Simmons is a absolute
Sure.
dog.
The Titans' defense is just normal bad, like any other team in every year.
They're like 26th or 25th
Whatever.
in total
I mean,
defense.
They were low 20s, but to answer your question, how many quarterbacks? Shedeur, so he threw for 3, he ran for the 4th.
Yeah.
Right.
So quarterbacks who have thrown 4 touchdowns. It's only happened 23 times all season. So he's tied.
Wait a minute. There have been 23 times this year a quarterback has thrown for 4 touchdowns?
Or more, correct.
That's higher than I thought it would be, to be honest.
Well, but he's not tied because he didn't throw for 4.
No,
You
he
say
threw for
just
3.
Throw for 4.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So he'd be tied with 24 and down. Sam Darnold's thrown for 3. He did it.
Yeah, we
2 weeks
don't
ago.
want to go through the whole list.
I'm not going. I'm just
I'm
saying.
surprised it's that high,
It's only
to be
been that
honest.
many times, 23
The
times. in all
point
the games
is, there's a
played
lot.
this
It's his 3rd NFL start, guys. So while, yes, I'll factor in that Tennessee isn't good, it's a minor factor because the Browns aren't good. I think people always forget that when you're ready to jump on a guy saying, well, he only did it against a bad team. Well, he's on a bad team.
Sure.
He's on an offense that couldn't score. He's on an offense. Dylan Gabriel. I don't mean to, kill him, but Dylan Gabriel never picked up his teammates.
It's fair, though,
Never.
Bull. You're not killing him. That's
Yeah.
a fair statement.
Never. And
we
he-
never saw a spark from Dylan Gabriel.
And there's-
ever.
No, and there's something to be said that Shedeur Sanders, I'm not saying everybody loves him. There's probably a couple guys on the team that think he's a pain in the ass.
Right.
That's going to be the case. When you're
But
different,
that's common.
When you're different, especially, you're gonna piss some people off.
Sure.
That's fine. But there's a lot of guys on that team, and I don't know this for a fact. I'm just saying, I bet you it's true. There's a lot of guys on that team that are motivated by Shedeur Sanders,
Sure.
that are inspired by Shedeur Sanders, that like that he's different, that like he's not a typical NFL quarterback. He doesn't talk like a typical NFL quarterback. He doesn't act like a typical NFL quarterback, and that's fine.
You know, you
not
described
everybody
it-
has to fit into the same
Who
mold.
you described as Baker. There were guys on the team that liked Baker, and there were guys on the team that hated Baker.
Yeah.
Baker was different. Baker said different stuff. But when Baker is electric and things are working, they are really good.
Yeah.
But the swings that you get with Baker are when
Yes.
they're not, they are really bad. And those are the ebbs and flows of quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I guess I'd rather have a even keel, a guy that's just steady Eddie, doesn't go over the top with numbers, but also doesn't drop absolute bombs during games.
Well, we don't know if that's Shedeur yet.
We don't. We have not
3
enough
games.
not enough.
Here's what we know:
size.
Shedeur Sanders in the last 3 weeks is a better quarterback than Baker Mayfield. That can't be debated.
That is absolutely unequivocally true.
Yes,
Statistically. Now, and again, I think this is the last thing I'll say on it. That we can go to the next Shedeur topic or whatever, or the next topic in general. But I'll state what I said at the beginning. The danger here is to building this kid up to being
Jay,
one of one, the king,
your
the
head
Messiah.
against the wall.
That's
It
fans
doesn't
being
matter.
I know that's what's being a
we
fan,
can't
but
fight it. I spent 10 minutes last night on my podcast lauding Shedeur Sanders, and there was one sentence that I said where I said he hasn't proven it enough. I meant to say he hasn't proven enough yet that he's definitely the franchise quarterback. What I actually said was he hasn't proven anything yet. I didn't even realize I had said it instead of not enough. And that got turned into I'm a racist, I'm a this, I'm a that. But I cannot worry about that. There's nothing you can do about it, so you got to just ignore
right,
that.
but you're not helping the kid when you call him the Messiah.
I'm not holding it against him. I'm not holding him against him.
Let the fans be fans.
Yes,
fans are
that's it.
lunatics. They're fanatical,
Yes.
good and bad. That's irrelevant to me. That's why I took Twitter.
I'm
off
not
my
even.
phone weeks ago.
But Jay, I'm not really pointing this at fans.
But
it's coming from the media too. We saw something happen over the weekend between media members.
It's not going to influence the Browns. The Browns have
shouldn't.
the next. What we got? 4 games left.
Yes.
4, right?
Correct.
They got 4 games left to figure out. Can we? Because this is the beauty of it. To me, is I don't see the harm in giving him next year. Now, if he goes out and lays a turd these next 3 games, obviously we're going to have a different discussion. But if he continues to grow and progress at this, what's the harm in giving him next year? Because this roster has still got a ton of holes. One draft was never going to solve all their problems. You can take next year's draft, you can continue to fill holes, and if it doesn't work next year, and by the end you get to the end of next year and you say he's not it, well, now again you've got this alleged great quarterback class coming in 2027. You can figure it out. So I think there's more upside than downside to giving him next year if he continues to progress like this. You don't have to give him a 10-year contract right now. Just give him the next 3 games,
and if he hits
the next 4, and if he continues to progress, give it again. You're telling me Deshaun Watson's going to be on this team next year? Give me Shedeur every single time.
For those people who,
but he is going to be on the team.
For those people that don't, and this is I'm trying to get through to people and get sometimes that you can let the outside noise affect what you're seeing right now. What you're seeing right now is, think about it like this. What if Deshaun Watson would have had this type of game? When he was playing here? Because we was talking about the Ravens second half. Remember, it was a joke.
For 9 months.
We talked about the Ravens second half for 9 months as that was the
But that was the Ravens on the road and we won.
But here's what I'm saying. If Deshaun Watson had that type of performance, we would be ecstatic. If it was Dylan Gabriel, we would be ecstatic. If it was Baker. My thing is, we shouldn't let the enthusiasm of fans and people who support them. You're going to have supporters everywhere, bro. That's just part of the world. That's part of the fandom. As far as what makes the NFL great, I salute people for supporting who they're going to support come hell or high water. That's the reason why the NFL is so captivating, because people are vested and interested. But for us, as the media members, we shouldn't be glossing over. We should be excited about the fact that you may not have to get a quarterback, and you could get some other things going.
I don't think anybody's glossing over it at all.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a perfect scenario. The perfect scenario is Shedeur plays great and the Browns lose, obviously, this year. And then next year, you use those picks to build the talent around
Well,
him.
imagine if you have a starting quarterback, who's on a 5th-round pick contract.
Great.
When you see in the past when Russ Wilson took the Seahawks to the Super Bowl, the big excitement was, wow, he's on a rookie contract. We can build up this defense. We can put so many parts around him. What happened when he was outside of that rookie deal and now had to be paid the $30 million a year? Well, they couldn't afford the defense. The team went downhill. It is a luxury if you can win with a rookie quarterback or a quarterback on his first deal, particularly when you're talking about a guy who was drafted in the 5th round. That's like a lottery ticket. So it behooves the Browns. They've got to make this work.
Especially because their cap's a disaster already.
Yeah.
This would give them some relief.
Yeah.
This would give them a lot of relief.
Not that they were going to have to worry about another quarterback effect. Even if they drafted a quarterback in the first round next year, that's not going to affect the cap for the next couple of years.
But it would be a higher contract than.
They still should cut Deshaun. He should not be on this team next year.
He
should not be on this team.
In fact,
I think that's.
I want to railroad it. I know it's a close game.
In fact, if Shedeur does prove to be the starter,
he's got to go.
it's even more.
He's got to go. Clear the room.
Yep.
Jay, I think everybody agrees with that. That's the right thing to do. I don't see any tea leaves that's what they're going to do.
I mean, they had a concerted PR effort over the weekend to make sure everyone knows that.
I noticed that.
And I totally disagree. It becomes a manageable conversation to have. Good teams would have cut him already. It becomes manageable. It's like 27% of the cap that he would count against.
Oh, my God.
The Broncos, when the Broncos did it, it was like 20%, I think, for that one first year hit.
Yeah, I don't want to derail the whole thing. Leave it till tomorrow. Go ahead, Mike.
Just real quick, before we move on, let's grade Shedeur because we do it every week. We graded him last week. We graded him in his first start. Jay, we'll start with you on with Bull. But what grade would you
give him a
Shedeur?
solid B+. And the reason it's not an A, obviously you're judged on wins and losses, 100%. And for me to give a quarterback an A in a losing effort, he has to be perfect. He can't make mistakes. He can't be the reason the team lost. He contributed to the loss with the bad pick. If you take that pick out, I definitely give him an A-, but I give him a very solid B+. And I also take into account who they did it against. If he does this against the Bills, he gets an A+. But it wasn't. It was a bad defense. And by and large, with the exception, Jay, I thought you touched on it well. I thought the first half was a very good first half. I thought he played very well. He made some throws. In general, it just seemed like everybody got disinterested in the third quarter. I don't know what the hell was said at halftime. I just thought they came out flat as a team. We had a number of 3-and-outs. You couldn't get any rhythm going. I want to see this kid in a tempo offense. And I know most teams look good because of what the defense is doing, but I just liked it when they were in rhythm and they were going, getting up to the line, throwing, going, moving, keeping the defense on their heels. That little bit, the 7 to 8 minute stretch in this fourth quarter where he had the 2 touchdowns, to me changed the entire narrative on the young man, and I think if nothing else, he absolutely rubber stamps every start the rest of this year, and if he does what he did consistently against the last 4 teams this year, you don't have to draft a quarterback. You're closer to knowing that you can start next year and see if he's the guy for a full season.
G. Bush, what grade would you give Shedeur?
I mean, you don't have to come to me on this. This is easy money. Given the fact of what the offensive line was like yesterday, you had 4 backup offensive linemen in the game. You lose your starting center. You couldn't run the ball. Every time, they gave the ball to Quinshon Judkins, he was getting hit in the backfield. It was inclement weather. I wouldn't say it was crazy. It wasn't cold and the wind went crazy, but it was snowing outside. And given the fact that you didn't have a running game and you did what you did, and it's not even the numbers. What I saw more from him was the maturation in terms of how you handle the game and understanding what you need at different times. Sometimes he needed to run, sometimes he needed to get rid of the ball, sometimes he needed to throw a quick dump down to Jerome Ford to get some yards. So for me, I'm going to give him an A. I'm not going to give you no A+. I'll give him an A-. I'll knock a little bit off because we did take, he did throw a pick or whatever, and they did take an L, but by no means, way, shape, or form. They did not lose this game because of him, because we're going to get to your boy here in a second. Kevin, but I give him A-.
Jason?
Yeah, I give him an A-. I said last week, it's time to take the guardrails off and let him play quarterback, and they did that yesterday. And I thought it was the right time to do it. The Raiders is his first start. Obviously, you're going to be very conservative in how you approach it. And then the Niners, it was very windy. They're a decent team. I understood keeping them up, but we said last week, listen, it's the one-win Titans. It's now or never. Let this kid play quarterback and see what he can do. And they did that, and he rewarded them for it. I'm with G. You could almost see it like, I got to get rid of the ball. Things in college where maybe he would have held it a little bit longer, he would have tried to do something, it's like, I got to get rid of it. Even the grounding, I didn't even hate the grounding. Mm-hmm. Like, it was a penalty, and but at least he's learning, get rid of the ball.
You can tell his clock has sped up.
And that's why I'm not going to kill him for completion percentage, because I would rather him have a low completion percentage and take 4 balls that he's throwing out of bounds.
Yes.
And so I actually, it sounds stupid. I actually think I've seen the most growth with him on get rid of it.
I agree.
Yeah, I don't think it sounds stupid at all.
And there's times where he's still dancing around too much, and against better defenses,
it'll catch him.
It's going to get him.
But you know what? He's not running backwards as much.
But it's less than it was.
Yes.
You're seeing the progression week after week after. That's all you looking for.
I thought he did a great job of getting out of bad situations yesterday.
The throw to Fannin was terrific in the end zone. It was a terrific catch as well. That was a fabulous catch by Fannin.
It was.
So there was a ton to like from him. There's a bad pick, and again, that's sort of reverting to bad habits. But the longer he does this, the more he does this, the hope is that he'll continue to break those because he's made tremendous progress.
I like that the pick didn't break him. A lot of times when rookie quarterbacks throw picks like that can swing a game,
that ain't gonna break him.
It didn't break him, and I loved his post-game news conference too. First of all, I know he lit up some colleagues of ours in the post-game news conference. I love the way he handles the media afterwards. He was asked, "Was that your primary receiver?" Talking about the Fannin throw. Well, yeah. Who else would have he been throwing to? I think the question. I think it was Zach. I think he meant to ask was
just go through the entire play.
Yeah.
That's what he was.
Yeah. Was that your intended? Was your number one?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I like the way he handles stuff like that. Like they asked him about a play. He said we ran that in practice. Did it work?
Yeah.
What? Did it work?
That was a stupid
No,
question.
it didn't work. That's why we ran
That
it in
was
the
a
game.
stupid question.
It was, but what I like about the kid is in the moment, he is quick enough to look at that kind of stuff. He doesn't back down. And that's, I think, of all the traits needed to be a great quarterback, all of the great quarterbacks have one thing in common. They do not back down. They hold their ground, and I think he did that both on the field. After that pick, I thought he came out. What pick? Short memory. He made dangerous throws, put them in tight windows, and he made those throws. And you build on that. What's your grade?
I give it an A. Last night I would have given it a B+ if you asked me for a grade last night.
What changed your mind?
I rewatched the game actually at 6 o'clock this morning, and I calmed myself down. I was when I talked to Mike right after I did my podcast, and I was very agitated last night because of some of the comments that people were making to me on Twitter. I mean, not on Twitter. I wasn't on Twitter. On my during my show in the chat. And Mike said he thought it was an A, and I was like, no, because I was mad. And I realized that in the conversation that Mike and I had, I think I was taking out my frustration and my anger, which was fair because people were out of control.
Don't read the comments.
Well, no, but I want to because I like to. It usually works out great. I overreacted to it. But I realized, I said, am I taking that out? Am I lowering Shedeur's grade because I'm angry at some things people are saying to me? So I obviously calmed down after I slept. I got up at 6 o'clock this morning. I purposely set my alarm because I wanted to watch the game first thing in the morning. And I rewatched it, and I just said, okay, yeah, it wasn't a perfect game, certainly not. But I think the negatives were so few that the positives, considering, I got to consider the Titans stink, but there's so many other things going against him in this situation, between weather, between the fact that he was a fifth-round pick.
Have we ever seen a worse offensive line for the Browns, ever?
Well,
I can't remember it.
On paper, I actually didn't think they played that bad
99.
yesterday.
They gave him 3.5 seconds to throw the ball. Yeah, you're right. That was a pretty bad offensive line.
Just to finish my thought, I just think there was so many things going against him in this game, including the fact that there's he's got more pressure than any young quarterback, and certainly more pressure than any fifth-round pick in the history of the sport. And the fact that he was a fifth-round pick is why he got so little in terms of reps and whatever. It wasn't unfair. It wasn't a conspiracy theory. He was a fifth-round pick, but that works against him when he's a starter, just like it would work against every other fifth-round pick. That's a quarterback. And yet he overcame it all to play as well as he did after the team blew the lead. A disappointing defense, bad special teams, no running game, none. None. Quinshon Judkins had a 14-yard run. Besides that, he averaged less than a yard per carry. They had in fact, their best running game was him.
It was him. They didn't have a running game.
I think that was an A performance.
Okay.
And I don't hold the loss on him at all.
I think in general, we're all in the same ballpark.
Yeah.
B+,
sure.
B+, A-, A. I would say about the comments, Bull,
I'm not worried about it. I know. I just brought it up because I was saying it was affecting my picture on it, and I had to take that away.
Yeah, but you're better. You're better than that. You trust your gut. I mean,
Of
fine
course,
that you went back and looked at it.
It wasn't a factor in anything I said. It was only a factor when I had a conversation with Mike off the air because I was angry in that moment.
Yeah.
And so that's why I needed to calm down and reassess.
It's all right to change your mind when you get new material.
It's a more
When you get
mature
new
bull.
information.
It's also
Kinder, gentler bull.
Bull called me because all last week when I was on the panel, I was predicting Shedeur was going to have this good game, and Bull was like, "It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen." I was
didn't
right,
think
so
so.
he came back to me because I was right on that. But we got